I'd like to welcome everyone today on this meeting. Today we continue our session related to the integration, and today we're going to speak about the Pongo API and a specific about the custom plugin that you can develop and how to work with it. Andrew will help us today. He will present his experience, how he was working with this product and what he was able to achieve in it. Andrew, I believe you can start, but before, maybe a short reminding how we're usually working. During the session, you can post your question into the chat. We will collect all of his question, and after the session will contain the presentation plus a short demo. And after this demo, we will be able to announce all of your questions. So, Andrew, please start.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for introduction and thank you for joining today's session. My name is Andrew Smirnov, IPAM Malta delivery manager, and also responsible for building up Pongo Center of Enablement and Center of Excellence here in Europe. And today I'm going to share with you my experience with the custom plugin development for Pongo API Gateway. Yeah, so we will start with introduction to Pongo plugins. Then we will check tool that helps us to work with custom plugins, so-called Pongo tool. And then we will proceed with demo. And regarding our timeline, I am hoping that you will have questions during the session, so please put them into chat, and then after the session, if you still have time, I will try to answer them all one by one. But during the presentation, since we have not much time, I would like to proceed with my content prepared for you, first of all. Okay, introduction to Pongo plugins. So what are plugins overall for Pongo? Pongo Gateway is the Lua application designed to load and execute Lua and or Go modules, and this design based on layered modules helps us to extend Pongo Gateway as we like, and there are also available plugins provided by Pongo, a third party, that we can reuse, and Pongo Plugin Hub is the website with where these plugins are available, and you can use whatever you like, existing ones, and they also divided by different areas and topics, and also free or enterprise and so on. We will review it later. Overall, existing plugins are good, but sometimes there is a need on the client side or on the project side that some logic is missing and we need to implement it, like for example custom security implementation, authorization, and authentication for finance organization, or some kind of database synchronization which is needed to be done during request, or running a particular endpoint or something else you can do. So that's Pongo custom plugins development could be useful for. And overall, as I already mentioned, Pongo is built with a modular architecture, and the core of it is in Jinx. Then Open REST library is the Pongo clustering and data storage. The next layer plugins allows us to extend the existing functionality and adjust the behavior with the Pongo API gateway. And above all of this, we have also a RESTful administration API, which allows us to manage Pongo configuration and Pongo objects. Overall, plugins can be created in different languages like Lua, Go, JavaScript, Python, and Pongo also provides SDK for Lua and Go, but Lua language and plugins written on Lua, since Kong based on engines and OpenResty will give us more speed in request, because we don't need to like generate the code, run it in a separate container and so on. It just will be running in the same container as Kong is running. So coming back to numbers, Lua will give us like approximately 40% more speed for request timeline if we compare to other languages. That's why it is recommended to develop plugins in Lua. Overall, Lua is the like not too complex language. It's a functional language one, and Kong also provides a custom plugin template that we will check during today's session, which you can reuse and extend for your own needs, and it can be a great point to start development with. And overall, yeah, plugins structured that way that it allows you to intercept request response lifecycle using a PDK existing in Kong, which also make our life easier. And we can use hooks and methods referred as methods in plugin code to implement custom logic. Yes, an overall Kong image can be packaged with all Kong plugins except third-party ones, so that, for example, you can build up your images for deployment, development, production, testing environment with whatever plugins you want to have on that particular environment. Yeah, here is the structure of Kong API gateway and its infrastructure and blocks, modules of it. As you can see, here is the Kong admin API, which manages all Kong infrastructure and configurations. It's directly connected to Kong gateway and usually secured as a best practice. Then we are having Kong objects as a consumer, which allows us to bind a particular client for a particular request and apply, for example, rate limiting more precisely and so on. Then we have route, which is connected to service, and service finally connected to backend API. And API client here as a consumer of overall Kong infrastructure and particular API. And plugins overall intended to add more flexibility on authentication, security, traffic control, transformation of requests, logging and analytics, and even more. Overall scope of plugins can be extended to global, so that plugin is executed on each and every request and each and every layer, or can be scoped to a consumer, so that only plugin is applied for a particular consumer, and if we discover that API client is a particular consumer, then plugin will be applied, or for particular route and service as well. Regarding Kong plugin hub, I mentioned already. It's a website available on Kong site, and it has various filters like plugins bundled with Connect, bundled with Kong API gateway, and third-party plugins. It has filters for functionality like authentication, security, traffic control, etc., and also subscription tiers like free, plus, or enterprise, so that you can see what are available plugins, for example, for free version of Kong on a specific functionality. Checking API request lifecycle and where plugin takes place, you can see on this picture. when API client is trying to get to upstream conc, and its plugins are taking place, and it's possible to intercept request and forward it then to upstream, and then on the way back intercept a response and forward a response. And during plugin execution, we can transform, we can log, we can do some other jobs needed. That's why they're useful. Yeah, and jumping for another topic, and now it's a Pongo tool, which is available for plugin testing, for running shell Kong environment, so that we can right away test our plugins for logic implementation and so on. This tool is available in GitHub so that you can use it. It has instructions how to be installed in Windows, Linux, and other environments, so feel free. Yeah, overall, to set this environment for Windows, I used WSL environments. I enabled Docker settings, and I had to use Ubuntu and Debian, as you can see they're here, because previously it was Debian sufficient, but Kong was updated, and for now they switched to another types of commands. That's why I need now Ubuntu so that it will work fine, like Pongo installation and work. But if you're having Linux, I believe you won't have such problems as I do. But still, it's working fine, and I can proceed. Regarding useful Pongo commands, you can see here there are like many, and we will just touch some of them and not to spend much time. And rest you can check on Pongo GitHub page if you're interested in. So Pongo builds up Kong test image. Pongo app starts required dependency containers for testing, and it will pick up configuration, environments, variables, and standard output. Pongo run actually unites these commands, and it will run Pongo built an app under the hood. And this is the mostly used command, I believe, during custom plugin development, because you run your plugin spec files and see if tests are passed or not. Then Pongo done is vice versa. It stops the environment and remove all dependency containers. And Pongo shell will start Kong test container that you can check your custom plugin logic against. And Pongo lint, also mentioned here, is the command that allows you to check Lua language for spelling, for unused variables, and so on. Overall, as I mentioned, there is a plugin code, custom plugin code available on Kong. It's mentioned in the next slide. Here is it, like GitHub Kong plugin Git. We will jump for it later. I also have this project downloaded, and for now, willing to also gradually jump to demo part of our presentation, and we'll show you the organization of this plugin code structure, so that you have better picture. This is the complete repository without much change, so that I will just explain everything to you, or at least majority. Plugin has a handler and schema files, and handler is responsible for logic that you implement for your plugin, and schema describes the settings of the plugin. For example, I'm having here plugin my plugin, and I'm having a particular protocol here, a consumer and config. Config is the fields section in config is used for setting up particular plugins variables that can be changed in Kong admin API and Kong manager UI if you have enterprise. And so for here we have three settings: request header, response header, and TTL. We have a specific type of the settings, like here we have integer, here we have predefined type, and required or not required, and default variable, and so on. So that if you want plugin to have custom fields and custom settings, you just define them here, and so that you don't need to recompile your plugin each time. You just have these settings available for admin, and admin can use the settings, change it somehow. For example, we can change the variable, and so that plugin will behave differently based on this variable. A handler file will utilize usually this schema configuration for its work. Also, we have plugin priority, which determines plugin execution order. The less priority, the sooner plugin will be executed, so that you can build up chain of responsibility and make one plugin be executed before another one, so that you can make prerequisite work that can be used for another plugin. But overall, more plugins you use, more response time you have, so that it's better usually to consider to build up probably more complex plugin, but having one. But depends actually on use case. You should have tests and load tests in place to see how performance degraded if you use like 1 or 100 plugins. But usually 100 for sure. It's not a business case, but still, I believe you got my point. Yeah, and handler file has multiple entry points called functions in Lua that you can see. It is a init worker for initialization, and just after the worker process was forked and created, it runs in the particular block. And again, this is like a bit more technical information you can find in documentation. My purpose for now is to just give you more high level explanation what a plugin is, and if you will be interested, we can go for the sessions and more technical details. But for now, what is interesting for you is that it has entry points that you can reuse. For example, here at the plugin initiation, we will make a log execution with debug with some kind of message. And Kong object, even not available here, as you can see, is a part of Kong PDK library, which gives us this object that will become available when plugin will be part of Kong, because this object is there. Also, some methods are commented here. As you can see, it's a certificate method that will be executed on security. Rewrite method also here, but mostly used is two methods: is access for request and header filter on response. There are also body filter, log, and I believe some other methods, but mostly you will use this two for at the beginning, at least, of your journey with custom plugin developments. And the first, once again, access is responsible for intercept request, and header filter is for intercept response. And here we have some custom logic implemented already. And again, we have a log with a plugin config, and we have again PDK library in place, conc service request, set header, we are reading header name from configuration, and configuration is passed of as input of this method, request header. And in configuration, you see that we have request header, all right, with default variable hello world. And we are setting header to a particular variable. On response, we are doing the same, but for another header, response header. Also, plugin has testing part. It's unit as testing and integration testing. In unit testing, we are validating some methods against a particular logic. For example, here, yeah, it could be a bit of complex structure from the glance, but tests are here, so let's focus on them, and we don't much care for now what's going on here, just some logic that can be left alone, but in case we need another test, we just copy paste it, and that will be sufficient. So here are tests. For example, this test is checking like we're having distinct request header and response header, and we are validating that these headers not null and truthy as well. And we are passing, as you can see, different headers and checking what would be in logic. And yeah, vice versa, we are checking that it won't be accepted identical requests, identical headers, and also checking that we are having some error, and we're checking this as well. For integration specs, we're also like running Kong's sandbox and also applying some strategies so-called in Kong. And regarding strategy, it is usually DBLS, Postgres, and previously it was Cassandra, and still it is mentioned here, but it's not anymore in place in latest Kong, and so that mostly it's off of Postgres, and which means that Kong will be run in DBLS mode, then in Postgres mode, then in other modes if they will be, and Kong will be run with specific inputs. Plugin will be applied, and then we'll apply some strategies, plugin again, and so on. And then we will finally come to tests and check this test. I will not focus there, quite straightforward. But still, for example, here we're checking that some header is there. We will run a Kong client with a particular host, then assert response is the 200, then assert that a request has header of this value, and header of this name, sorry, and header value is this. Hopefully, this was not too like complex to listen to. But yeah, in case you have questions, we can discuss. For now, it's just a plugin structure. For sure, from the first glance, it can be different, it can be complex, but it's not like that in practice. And now we will jump to Pongo tool so that you can see how it works. And for now, I'm already in my Ubuntu environment on Windows VSW, which is up and running. And here I will run Pongo run to run spec tests and to see if they're green or red. So use cases that we developed a plugin, we implemented some testing, and for now we are willing to see that tests are green. For this, we are running Pongo run, which start up an environment of Conk and then running tests for us, unit and integration. As you can see, the tests that we covered, like accept distinct requests, doesn't accept identical, are green. And also we are having different strategies also, as we reviewed, for example, Postgres and auth. And for these strategies, we run tests, one test and another test, and getting a response, like they're all fine. For now, 6 tests passed. Why 6? Because we had 2 unit and 2 integrations, but integrations were run against different strategies, 2 of them, and so that we have 4 instead of 2, and 4 plus 2 is 6. For now, let me change something in response. For example, I will change header variable, save the environment, and since also Conk has a little bit of bug for now for my Windows, I need to, despite the fact that I'm having plugin actually here, I need to copy it in home folder because it stopped working from my Git. I need to copy it for now so that I will move this code, which is currently in my drive C, it's a Git, on this folder to home folder. Sorry, I didn't copy it. Yeah, I will update the code in home folder. Previously, it was not required, but for now, Conk updated the version and it's not working. And I will repeat my Pongo run to see that some tests should become red now. Yeah, as you can see, Conk with a particular version is started. And for now, we are running tests. Yeah, as you can see, something failed. And because we got a wrong header variable, and this is failed. Yeah, let another strategy to finish. Yeah, this is clear that what is expected, this is on request, and what was here, like the different variable was provided, so that I can quickly fix my code and again, rerun it. So this is how Pongo helps us to check code against tests. And for sure, this Pongo tool can be integrated with CI/CD pipeline so that you can check whether you plugins that you develop are having great green greens and not reds, and that's how it's helpful. For now, I won't spend time for rerunning tests. They will be fine. Still, I want to show you also Pongo lint command, which helps us to see if Lua has any missing variables, for example, or something like this, errors or warnings, and because we cannot build up Lua since it's functional or language, but still we are interested if it's fine or not. So for now, I don't have any issues. And this command can also be used in your CI/CD pipeline, which is quite helpful, I believe. Yeah, coming back to presentation, we reviewed Conk plugin structure, 2 files, the schema for for setting up a particular configuration for a plugin and handler to implement business logic. And yeah, some methods inside of it also were checked. Then we went to Pongo. I skipped this step with the git clone because it's quite straightforward. Then also we executed command for the plugin to be put in home folder. Hopefully on your like Linux environment it won't be required, but for me it is. Then we changed the directory and ran Pongo to check if plugins are fine. And we got green results. Then I changed my code and redone some steps, and we found that some issues appeared. Then we checked lint, checked code for linting, and for now I'm proposing you to run Pongo shell, which is another useful command to execute and test our plugin in like real world scenario, because for now we only tested this for like unit tests and so on. I'm running Pongo shell in my Ubuntu environment, and it will open up Kong for me so that I can use it. As you can see, Kong sandbox was became available. Sorry. Yeah, I will bootstrap a database. Database is already bootstrapped, and also I will start Kong itself, because for now we only had the interface to it. Yeah, Kong started and Kong became available. And for now we are inside of Kong. Actually, we can check Kong configuration or everything. It's like we are inside the Kong container. From another terminal, I will execute some commands to Kong so that we see that everything is working fine. I will execute, sorry. Yeah, I will execute now a command to check whether Kong is available for us overall, it's responsive and so on. Yeah, as you can see, Kong responded to us okay. And yeah, we have some settings here in configuration. Let's see if our plugin is listed in Kong plugins. Yeah, as you can see, my plugin is in Kong, so that we can proceed with testing. Sorry, yeah. For now, I will create a test service for Kong, just a regular one. Yeah, I don't see anything actually. Oh yeah, okay. My terminal is playing tricks. Yeah, that's fine. Let me repeat. I will create a service. Yeah, I believe service was already created. That's why we got a conflict. I forgot to clean my environment. Sorry for that, but it's not a problem. I believe we will have. No, we don't have any conflict for route. I believe actually a conflict appeared because I had a terminal issue for some time. Yeah, and we also created a route so that we can test our service, and we assign this route to a particular mock service, as you can see. For now, we will put the plugin in our service, and then we will test our service. Yeah, I put the plugin, and for now, yeah, my plugin is in service. As you can see, it has some configuration, which we can actually change if we want. That's why configuration and schema file is useful for us. But for now, we will leave it alone. It's not a big like rocket science to change the configuration. And for now, we will check the service itself. And as you can see, we have headers that were used in plugin a by world header, which is executed, which was put on response, and with the variable that we used in our custom plugin code. And also we had a hello world header that was integrated during request. That's how a custom plugin in short works. Quite straightforward, hopefully, and easy. All of these commands are in my deck so that you can reuse them at your convenience, adjust and so on. Feel free, and I'm glad that still we have time for questions. Hopefully there are some. Ready for it?
So far, we don't have question, but I have, if you don't mind.
Mm.
Could you please explain, is it possible to create a plugin which will work asynchronically in comparing with the main flow? Let's assume we have a heavy logic
Mm.
and we would not want to affect the performance of the main flow.
Yeah, actually, for sure, Conk plugin can do any logic, like it can ping a particular Azure function or AWS Lambda or anything like this. It can write into database. It can be Conk database. It can be separate database. It can do whatever logic you want this to do. But a sync request is a sync request so that you can uh, execute it somehow, but you need to either wait for results so that it will become sync request, right? Or you should get the results somehow afterwards if you were asking for this question. But overall, conc logic won't be executed in a sync way because it says Lua so that you can delegate, for example, execution of it for like pinging a particular Lambda function, and Lambda function can do whatever you want it to do in a separate stream, and conc will proceed afterwards when request was sent to Lambda. But conc itself will not create uh, uh, another process for you to execute some logic, so that it's a sync model, and
Okay,
only one process can be used.
got it. Thank you. And let's assume we would like to develop a custom plugin, but we would like to take as a baseline something which was already created. Is it possible to extend existing plugins?
And not all of them, because some plugins has open code, so that for sure you can extend them, you can contribute to them. Yeah, why not? But enterprise plugins for sure has no access to source code, so that you cannot extend them.
Okay, got you. Thank you very much. I still don't see any questions, but basically that's fine. We're going to share this session like a recording, and potentially in future we will have some question. Andrew, if you don't mind, of behalf of you, I will say that we will be able to answer your question if you will post it to us. Colleagues, thank you very much. Andrew, thank you very much for your presentation. It was really clear and sounds good, at least for me. And thank you. Hope to see you guys next time.
Yeah. See you all. Thank you for joining. Bye.